I'm just saying. Hello, everybody. My name is Mike Smith. Welcome to another episode of I'm Just Saying. Up first in the news this week, Jamie Lynn Grummet has made the cover of Time magazine. Why? Because she's breastfeeding her 3-year-old child. Listen, we can't even technically say that she's breastfeeding her kid because we can't tell if any milk is coming out. So she might be on the cover of Time magazine with her titty in her kid's mouth. Listen, I understand that breastfeeding a child to a certain age builds up a special bond between mother and child. It builds up a great relationship between you and your baby. But let's think about the relationship and the bond between the bully's fist and your kid's face when he's at school getting his ass kicked repeatedly because he had his mama's titties in his mouth at the age of 3. Come on, you're not a fountain, all right? If your child can walk up to you, squeeze one off, take a bite of a cookie, and go back to sipping on his milk, he's too damn old to be breastfeeding, all right? Don't be mad at me if other kids at the daycare that he's at show up with Mardi Gras beads because they're a little thirsty too. Come on, Jamie Lynn, I know it's your right to do that, but stop it. I'm just saying. Next up, President Obama's attacks on Mitt Romney's company, Bain Capital, who was notorious for getting people fired and actually destroying jobs. The Republicans have fired back that the president is attacking the American way of life, that you're attacking job creators. Well, no, he's not attacking job creators. And if the American way of life is to fire people and make money off of it, then maybe you should re-examine your way of life. I'm not saying that it's not your right to do so. Get all the money you can. Republicans also fired back at the president by stating that some of his biggest campaign donors are people with worse track records than Mitt Romney. Listen, you're destroying jobs and making money off of it. We can call that the American life. We can call that the American way of life all day. But the man who's getting paid from the people who are destroying jobs and making money off of it, we can call that a pimp's way, because that's pimping to me. Pimp on, president. Get your money. That's the American way of life, right? I'm just saying. Next up for the president, the cover of Newsweek. Newsweek announced that President Obama is America's first gay president. So that's what you get when you back gay marriage. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but did you have to come out and say it like that? Now they're all over you as the first gay president. And President Obama wasn't even the first gay president. Let's look at our 15th president, President James Buchanan, who remained single his entire life and actually shared a home with a senator from Alabama. I'm not saying that's gay, but hey, I'm just saying. Let's look at some recent Republican gay scandals. Let's take Representative Mark Foley. Yes, Representative Mark Foley. He was under scrutiny for sending emails to congressional pages right there in the White House, right there on Capitol Hill. And what was so ironic about Representative Mark Foley is that he headed the House caucus on missing and exploited children. While the rest of the country is running out searching for missing and exploited children, who would have known that Representative Mark Foley had them in his trunk the whole time? Let's take Pastor Ted Haggard. Yes, he's the leader of the National Association of Evangelists, also a well-known and respected Republican. Ted Haggard was known for paying male prostitutes and snorting crystal meth. Because what makes a male prostitute taste better than a mixture of rat poisoning and liquid plumber? Let's take Senator Larry Craig. Yes, he was a former Senate liaison to the Mitt Romney presidential campaign. He got caught soliciting sex to an undercover cop. Yes, he also voted against gay marriage. Come on, Larry. I'm just saying. And what about known Republican pastor Charles Worley, whose sermon recently went viral, where he said that basically gay and lesbians should be placed in concentration camps with electric wire around them? Come on, Pastor, they're gay. They're not Jews. What gets me about all of this is that people scream about the sanctity of marriage. Come on. Who do you know who's married and happy right now? Nobody. Come on, sanctity of marriage. If everybody is so up in arms about the sanctity of marriage, then why don't we make laws that really will make marriage as sacred as it should be? How about a woman who's a non-virgin? You don't get to wear white anymore. In fact, for every sexual partner that you've had prior to your husband, You should have a dress that reflects that shade of gray. Eventually, it'll look like a funeral because everybody will be wearing black. All right? So let's get off of that. If people want to be married and gay, let them be married and gay. Who are we to judge? We can't judge people like that. I'm just saying. Also in the news, John Travolta. Speaking of gay, John Travolta is now reported to have tried to give the male masseuse who accused him of sexual battery $125,000 to keep his mouth shut. It's a little late for trying to get the guy to keep his mouth shut, John. You solicited gay sex from him. So I'm thinking that at some point in time, you really wanted him to keep his mouth open and don't say anything. Listen, a married man trying to solicit gay male sex outside of the marriage, I'm not saying that that makes John Travolta gay, but I am saying it does make you look awfully Republican. And from the files of I'm not gay and I can prove it, a 33-year-old Tennessee man has fathered 30 children by 11 different women. I can't make that up. The crazy thing about it is now he wants the state of Tennessee to help him with his child support because he can't afford it. How about you stop before you amass an intramural basketball league? You got enough for 6 teams in a league, bro. How about you stop before you have enough kids for 3 baseball teams and an effective bullpen? Come on, man. What's wrong with you? Couldn't you have stopped at your starting 5? Wasn't that enough? The only thing the state of Tennessee should help you with is becoming spayed or neutered. Tennessee, you got to get this brother fixed. I'm just saying. NBA ball players, please stop wearing these enormous glasses at your press conferences. If you're not farsighted, if you're not nearsighted, if you don't have a seeing deficiency, I can't handle you going from superstar on the court to total geek in the locker room during the press conference. I don't think that's cool. Hey, but be you. I'm just saying, you're making $10 million a year. How about LASIK surgery? I'm Mike Smith. Thanks for tuning in.